2Kings 13. In the 23rd year of Joash the son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Jehoahaz the son of Jehu became king over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 17 years. In the 23rd year of Joash the son of Ahaziah king of Judah, Jehoahaz the son of Jehu began to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 17 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. He did not depart from them. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin, he departed not therefrom. Then the anger of the Lord was aroused against Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of Hazael king of Syria, and into the hand of Benhadad the son of Hazael, all their days. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of Hazael king of Syria, and into the hand of Benhadad the son of Hazael, all their days. So Jehoahaz pleaded with the Lord, and the Lord listened to him, for he saw the oppression of Israel, because the king of Syria oppressed them. And Jehoahaz besought the Lord, and the Lord hearkened unto him, for he saw the oppression of Israel, because the king of Syria oppressed them. Then the Lord gave Israel a deliverer, so that they escaped from under the hand of the Syrians, and the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before. And the Lord gave Israel a Savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Syrians, and the children of Israel dwelt in their tents, as beforetime. Nevertheless they did not depart from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, who had made Israel sin, but walked in them, and the wooden image also remained in Samaria. Nevertheless they departed not from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, who made Israel sin, but walked therein, and there remained the grove also in Samaria. For he left of the army of Jehoahaz only 50 horsemen, 10 chariots, and 10,000 foot soldiers, for the king of Syria had destroyed them and made them like the dust at threshing. Neither did he leave of the people to Jehoahaz but 50 horsemen, and 10 chariots, and 10,000 footmen, for the king of Syria had destroyed them, and had made them like the dust by threshing. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz, all that he did, and his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Now the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz, and all that he did, and his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Jehoahaz rested with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria. Then Joash's son reigned in his place. And Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Joash's son reigned in his stead. In the 37th year of Joash king of Judah, Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz became king over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 16 years. In the 37th year of Joash king of Judah began Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 16 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin, but walked in them. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, he departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin, but he walked therein. Now the rest of the acts of Joash, all that he did, and his might with which he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, and his might wherewith he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Joash rested with his fathers. Then Jeroboam sat on his throne. And Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. And Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat upon his throne, and Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Elisha had become sick with the illness of which he would die. Then Joash the king of Israel came down to him, and wept over his face, and said, O my father, the chariots of Israel and their horsemen. Now Elisha was fallen sick of his sickness whereof he died. And Joash the king of Israel came down unto him, and wept over his face, and said, O my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And Elisha said to him, Take a bow and some arrows. So he took himself a bow and some arrows. And Elisha said unto him, Take bow and arrows. And he took unto him bow and arrows. Then he said to the king of Israel, Put your hand on the bow. So he put his hand on it, and Elisha put his hands on the king's hands. And he said to the king of Israel, Put thine hand upon the bow. And he put his hand upon it, And Elisha put his hands upon the king's hands. And he said, "Open the east window," and he opened it. Then Elisha said, "Shoot," and he shot. And he said, "The arrow of the Lord's deliverance and the arrow of deliverance from Syria, for you must strike the Syrians at Aphek till you have destroyed them." And he said, "Open the window eastward." And he opened it. Then Elisha said, "Shoot." And he shot. And he said, "The arrow of the Lord's deliverance, and the arrow of deliverance from Syria, for thou shalt smite the Syrians in Aphek, till thou have consumed them." Then he said, "Take the arrows," so he took them. And he said to the king of Israel, "Strike the ground," so he struck 3 times, and stopped. And he said, "Take the arrows." And he took them. And he said unto the king of Israel, "Smite upon the ground." And he smote thrice, and stayed. And the man of God was angry with him, and said, "You should have struck 5 or 6 times, then you would have struck Syria till you had destroyed it. But now you will strike Syria only 3 times. And the man of God was wroth with him, and said, "Thou shouldest have smitten 5 or 6 times, then hadst thou smitten Syria till thou hadst consumed it, whereas now thou shalt smite Syria but thrice." Then Elisha died, and they buried him. And the raiding bands from Moab invaded the land in the spring of the year. And Elisha died, and they buried him. And the bands of the Moabites invaded the land at the coming in of the year. So it was, as they were burying a man, that suddenly they spied a band of raiders, and they put the man in the tomb of Elisha, and when the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood on his feet. And it came to pass, as they were burying a man, that, behold, they spied a band of men, and they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha, and when the man was let down, and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived, and stood up on his feet. And Hazael king of Syria oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. But Hazael king of Syria oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. But the Lord was gracious to them, had compassion on them, and regarded them, because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not yet destroy them or cast them from his presence. And the Lord was gracious unto them, and had compassion on them, and had respect unto them, because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them, neither cast he them from his presence as yet. Now Hazael king of Syria died. Then Benhadad his son reigned in his place. So Hazael king of Syria died, and Benhadad his son reigned in his stead. And Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz recaptured from the hand of Benhadad, the son of Hazael, the cities which he had taken out of the hand of Jehoahaz his father by war. 3 times Joash defeated him and recaptured the cities of Israel. And Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz took again out of the hand of Benhadad the son of Hazael the cities, which he had taken out of the hand of Jehoahaz his father by war. 3 times did Joash beat him, and recovered the cities of Israel. 2 Kings 14. In the 2nd year of Joash the son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, became king. In the 2nd year of Joash son of Jehoahaz king of Israel reigned Amaziah the son of Joash king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, yet not like his father David, he did everything as his father Joash had done. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, yet not like David his father, he did according to all things as Joash his father did. However, the high places were not taken away, and the people still sacrificed and burned incense on the high places. Howbeit the high places were not taken away, as yet the people did sacrifice and burnt incense on the high places. Now it happened, as soon as the kingdom was established in his hand, that he executed his servants who had murdered his father the king. And it came to pass, as soon as the kingdom was confirmed in his hand, that he slew his servants which had slain the king his father. But the children of the murderers he did not execute, according to what is written in the book of the law of Moses, in which the Lord commanded, saying, Fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall children be put to death for their fathers, but a person shall be put to death for his own sin. But the children of the murderers he slew not, according unto that which is written in the book of the law of Moses, wherein the Lord commanded, saying, The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers, but every man shall be put to death for his own sin. He killed 10,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt, and took Selah by war, and called its name Joktheel to this day. He slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000, and took Selah by war, and called the name of it Joktheel unto this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us face one another in battle. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us look one another in the face. And Jehoash king of Israel sent to Amaziah king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son as wife, and a wild beast that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle. And Jehoash the king of Israel sent to Amaziah king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give thy daughter to my son to wife, and there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon, and trode down the thistle. You have indeed defeated Edom, and your heart has lifted you up. Glory in that, and stay at home, for why should you meddle with trouble so that you fall you and Judah with you? Thou hast indeed smitten Edom, and thine heart hath lifted thee up, glory of this, and tarry at home, for why shouldest thou meddle to thy hurt, that thou shouldest fall, even thou, and Judah with thee? But Amaziah would not heed. Therefore Jehoash king of Israel went out, so he and Amaziah king of Judah faced one another at Beth-shemesh, which belongs to Judah. But Amaziah would not hear. Therefore Jehoash king of Israel went up, and he and Amaziah king of Judah looked one another in the face at Beth-shemesh, which belongeth to Judah. And Judah was defeated by Israel, and every man fled to his tent. And Judah was put to the worse before Israel, and they fled every man to their tents. Then Jehoash king of Israel captured Amaziah king of Judah, the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah, at Beth-shemesh, and he went to Jerusalem, and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate 400 cubits. And Jehoash king of Israel took Amaziah king of Judah, the son of Jehoash the son of Ahaziah, at Beth-shemesh, and came to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim unto the corner gate, 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and silver, all the articles that were found in the house of the Lord and in the treasuries of the king's house, and hostages, and returned to Samaria. And he took all the gold and silver, and all the vessels that were found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house, and hostages, and returned to Samaria. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoash which he did his might, and how he fought with Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Now the rest of the acts of Jehoash which he did, and his might, and how he fought with Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Jehoash rested with his fathers, and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Then Jeroboam his son reigned in his place. And Jehoash slept with his fathers, and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel, and Jeroboam his son reigned in his stead. Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. And Amaziah the son of Joash king of Judah lived after the death of Jehoash son of Jehoahaz king of Israel 15 years. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And they formed a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish, but they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. Now they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish, but they sent after him to Lachish, and slew him there. Then they brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. And they brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. And all the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king instead of his father Amaziah. And all the people of Judah took Azariah, which was 16 years old, and made him king instead of his father Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah, after the king rested with his fathers. He built Elath, and restored it to Judah, after that the king slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam the son of Joash, king of Israel, became king in Samaria, and reigned 41 years. In the 15th year of Amaziah the son of Joash king of Judah, Jeroboam the son of Joash king of Israel began to reign in Samaria, and reigned 41 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, he did not depart from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, he departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. He restored the territory of Israel from the entrance of Hamath to the sea of the Arabah, according to the word of the Lord God of Israel, which he had spoken through his servant Jonah the son of Amittai, the prophet who was from Gath-hepher. He restored the coast of Israel from the entering of Hamath unto the sea of the plain, according to the word of the Lord God of Israel, which he spake by the hand of his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai, the prophet, which was of Gath-hepher. For the Lord saw that the affliction of Israel was very bitter, and whether bond or free, there was no helper for Israel. For the Lord saw the affliction of Israel, that it was very bitter, for there was not any shut up, nor any left, nor any helper for Israel. And the Lord did not say that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam the son of Joash. And the Lord said not that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam the son of Joash. Now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, and all that he did his might, how he made war, and how he recaptured for Israel, from Damascus and Hamath, what had belonged to Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, and all that he did, and his might, how he warred, and how he recovered Damascus, and Hamath, which belonged to Judah, for Israel, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Jeroboam rested with his fathers, the kings of Israel. Then Zechariah his son reigned in his place. And Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son reigned in his stead. Mark 5. Then they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gadarenes. And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he had come out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no one could bind him, not even with chains. Who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. Because he had often been bound with shackles and chains. And the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces, neither could anyone tame him. Because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with stones. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains, and in the tombs, crying, and cutting himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and worshipped him. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him. And he cried out with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God that you do not torment me. And cried with a loud voice, and said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God, that thou torment me not. For he said to him, Come out of the man, unclean spirit. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. Then he asked him, What is your name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. Also he begged him earnestly that he would not send them out of the country. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now a large herd of swine was feeding there near the mountains. Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. So all the demons begged him, saying, Send us to the swine, that we may enter them. And all the devils besought him, saying, Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And at once Jesus gave them permission. Then the unclean spirits went out and entered the swine, there were about 2,000, and the herd ran violently down the steep place into the sea, and drowned in the sea. And forthwith Jesus gave them leave. And the unclean spirits went out, and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 winky face and were choked in the sea. So those who fed the swine fled, and they told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what it was that had happened. And they that fed the swine fled, and told it in the city, and in the country. And they went out to see what it was that was done. Then they came to Jesus, and saw the one who had been demon-possessed and had the legion, sitting and clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. And they come to Jesus, and see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion, sitting, and clothed, and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who saw it told them how it happened to him who had been demon-possessed, and about the swine. And they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. Then they began to plead with him to depart from their region. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coasts. And when he got into the boat, he who had been demon-possessed begged him that he might be with him. And when he was come into the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. However, Jesus did not permit him, but said to him, Go home to your friends, and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you, and how he has had compassion on you. Howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but saith unto him, Go home to thy friends, and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath had compassion on thee. And he departed and began to proclaim in Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him, and all marveled. And he departed, and began to publish in Decapolis how great things Jesus had done for him, and all men did marvel. Now when Jesus had crossed over again by boat to the other side, a great multitude gathered to him, and he was by the sea. And when Jesus was passed over again by ship unto the other side, much people gathered unto him, and he was nigh unto the sea. And behold, one of the rulers of the synagogue came, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet. And, behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and when he saw him, he fell at his feet. And begged him earnestly, saying, My little daughter lies at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, that she may be healed, and she will live. And besought him greatly, saying, My little daughter lieth at the point of death, I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live. So Jesus went with him, and a great multitude followed him and thronged him. And Jesus went with him, and much people followed him, and thronged him. Now a certain woman had a flow of blood for 12 years. And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood 12 years. And had suffered many things from many physicians. She had spent all that she had and was no better, but rather grew worse. And had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, If only I may touch his clothes, I shall be made well. For she said, If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. Immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of the affliction. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that power had gone out of him, turned around in the crowd and said, Who touched my clothes? And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press, and said, Who touched my clothes? But his disciples said to him, You see the multitude thronging you, and you say, Who touched me? And his disciples said unto him, Thou sayest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? And he looked around to see her who had done this thing. And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. But the woman fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. And he said to her, Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace, and be healed of your affliction. And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole, go in peace, and be whole of thy plague. While he was still speaking, some came from the ruler of the synagogue's house who said, Your daughter is dead. why trouble the teacher any further? While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said, Thy daughter is dead, why troublest thou the master any further? As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he said to the ruler of the synagogue, Do not be afraid, only believe. As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he saith unto the ruler of the synagogue, Be not afraid, only believe. And he permitted no one to follow him except Peter, James, and John the brother of James. And he suffered no man to follow him, save Peter, and James, and John the brother of James. Then he came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and saw a tumult and those who wept and wailed loudly. And he cometh to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and seeth the tumult, and them that wept and wailed greatly. When he came in, he said to them, Why make this commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but sleeping. And when he was come in, he saith unto them, Why make ye this ado, and weep? The damsel is not dead, but sleepeth. And they ridiculed him. But when he had put them all outside, he took the father and the mother of the child, and those who were with him, and entered where the child was lying. And they laughed him to scorn. But when he had put them all out, he taketh the father and the mother of the damsel, and them that were with him, and entereth in where the damsel was lying. Then he took the child by the hand, and said to her, Talitha, cumi, which is translated, Little girl, I say to you, arise. And he took the damsel by the hand, and said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is, being interpreted, Damsel, I say unto thee, arise. Immediately the girl arose and walked, for she was 12 years of age. And they were overcome with great amazement. And straightway the damsel arose, and walked, for she was of the age of 12 years. And they were astonished with a great astonishment. But he commanded them strictly that no one should know it, and said that something should be given her to eat. And he charged them straitly that no man should know it, and commanded that something should be given her to eat. Mark 6. Then he went out from there and came to his own country, and his disciples followed him. And he went out from thence, and came into his own country, and his disciples follow him. And when the Sabbath had come, he began to teach in the synagogue. And many hearing him were astonished, saying, Where did this man get these things? And what wisdom is this which is given to him, that such mighty works are performed by his hands? And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, From whence hath this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is this not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James, Joses, Judas, and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? So they were offended at him. Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James, and Joses, and of Judah, and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. But Jesus said to them, A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. Now he could do no mighty work there, except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and healed them. And he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk, and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief. Then he went about the villages in a circuit, teaching. And he marveled because of their unbelief. And he went round about the villages, teaching. And he called the 12 to himself, and began to send them out 2 by 2, and gave them power over unclean spirits. And he called unto him the 12, and began to send them forth by 2 and 2, and gave them power over unclean spirits. He commanded them to take nothing for the journey except a staff, no bag, no bread, no copper in their money belts. And commanded them that they should take nothing for their journey, save a staff only, no scrip, no bread, no money in their purse. But to wear sandals, and not to put on 2 tunics. But be shod with sandals, and not put on 2 coats. Also he said to them, In whatever place you enter a house, stay there till you depart from that place. And he said unto them, In what place soever ye enter into an house, there abide till ye depart from that place. And whoever will not receive you nor hear you, when you depart from there, shake off the dust under your feet as a testimony against them. Assuredly, I say to you, it will be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you, when ye depart thence, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment, than for that city. So they went out and preached that people should repent. And they went out, and preached that men should repent. And they cast out many demons, and anointed with oil many who were sick, and healed them. And they cast out many devils, and anointed with oil many that were sick, and healed them. Now King Herod heard of him, for his name had become well known. And he said, John the Baptist is risen from the dead, and therefore these powers are at work in him. And King Herod heard of him, for his name was spread abroad, and he said, that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do shew forth themselves in him. Others said, it is Elijah. And others said, it is the prophet, or like one of the prophets. Others said, that it is Elias. And others said, that it is a prophet, or as one of the prophets. But when Herod heard, he said, this is John, whom I beheaded, he has been raised from the dead. But when Herod heard thereof, he said, it is John, whom I beheaded, he is risen from the dead. For Herod himself had sent and laid hold of John, and bound him in prison for the sake of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. Because John had said to Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. For John had said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Therefore Herodias held it against him and wanted to kill him, but she could not. Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have killed him, but she could not. For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just and holy man, and he protected him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and an holy, and observed him, and when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. Then an opportune day came when Herod on his birthday gave a feast for his nobles, the high officers, and the chief men of Galilee. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estates of Galilee. And when Herodias' daughter herself came in and danced, and pleased Herod and those who sat with him, the king said to the girl, ask me whatever you want, and I will give it to you. And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in, and danced, and pleased Herod and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it thee. He also swore to her, whatever you ask me, I will give you, up to half my kingdom. And he sware unto her, whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it thee, unto the half of my kingdom. So she went out and said to her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist. And she went forth, and said unto her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist. Immediately she came in with haste to the king and asked, saying, I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on a platter. And she came in straightway with haste unto the king, and asked, saying, I will that thou give me by and by in a charger the head of John the Baptist. And the king was exceedingly sorry, yet, because of the oaths and because of those who sat with him, he did not want to refuse her. And the king was exceeding sorry, yet for his oath's sake, and for their sakes which sat with him, he would not reject her. Immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded his head to be brought. And he went and beheaded him in prison. And immediately the king sent an executioner, and commanded his head to be brought, and he went and beheaded him in the prison. Brought his head on a platter, and gave it to the girl, and the girl gave it to her mother. And brought his head in a charger, and gave it to the damsel, and the damsel gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard of it, they came and took away his corpse and laid it in a tomb. And when his disciples heard of it, they came and took up his corpse, and laid it in a tomb. Then the apostles gathered to Jesus and told him all things, both what they had done and what they had taught. And the apostles gathered themselves together unto Jesus, and told him all things, both what they had done, and what they had taught. And he said to them, Come aside by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while. For there were many coming and going, and they did not even have time to eat. And he said unto them, Come ye yourselves apart into a desert place, and rest a while, for there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat. So they departed to a deserted place in the boat by themselves. And they departed into a desert place by ship privately. But the multitude saw them departing, and many knew him and ran there on foot from all the cities. They arrived before them and came together to him. And the people saw them departing, and many knew him, and ran afoot thither out of all cities, and outwent them, and came together unto him. And Jesus, when he came out, saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion for them, because they were like sheep not having a shepherd. So he began to teach them many things. And Jesus, when he came out, saw much people, and was moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. When the day was now far spent, his disciples came to him and said, This is a deserted place, and already the hour is late. And when the day was now far spent, his disciples came unto him, and said, This is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Send them away, that they may go into the surrounding country and villages and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat. Send them away, that they may go into the country round about, and into the villages, and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat. But he answered and said to them, You give them something to eat. And they said to him, Shall we go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give them something to eat? He answered and said unto them, Give ye them to eat. And they say unto him, Shall we go and buy 200 pennyworth of bread, and give them to eat? But he said to them, How many loaves do you have? Go and see. And when they found out they said, 5, and 2 fish. He saith unto them, How many loaves have ye? Go and see. And when they knew, they say, 5, and 2 fishes. Then he commanded them to make them all sit down in groups on the green grass. And he commanded them to make all sit down by companies upon the green grass. So they sat down in ranks, in hundreds and in fifties. And they sat down in ranks, by hundreds and by fifties. And when he had taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven, blessed and broke the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before them, and the 2 fish he divided among them all. And when he had taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, he looked up to heaven, and blessed, and brake the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before them, and the 2 fishes divided he among them all. So they all ate and were filled. And they did all eat, and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets full of fragments and of the fish. And they took up 12 baskets full of the fragments, and of the fishes. Now those who had eaten the loaves were about 5,000 men. And they that did eat of the loaves were about 5,000 men. Immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, to Bethsaida, while he sent the multitude away. And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into the ship, and to go to the other side before unto Bethsaida, while he sent away the people. And when he had sent them away, he departed to the mountain to pray. And when he had sent them away, he departed into a mountain to pray. Now when evening came, the boat was in the middle of the sea, and he was alone on the land. And when even was come, the ship was in the midst of the sea, and he alone on the land. Then he saw them straining at rowing, for the wind was against them. Now about the 4th watch of the night he came to them, walking on the sea, and would have passed them by. And he saw them toiling in rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them, and about the 4th watch of the night he cometh unto them, walking upon the sea, and would have passed by them. And when they saw him walking on the sea, they supposed it was a ghost, and cried out. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit, and cried out. For they all saw him and were troubled. But immediately he talked with them and said to them, Be of good cheer. It is I, do not be afraid. For they all saw him and were troubled. And immediately he talked with them, and saith unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. Then he went up into the boat to them, and the wind ceased. And they were greatly amazed in themselves beyond measure, and marveled. And he went up unto them into the ship, and the wind ceased, and they were sore amazed in themselves beyond measure, and wondered. For they had not understood about the loaves, because their heart was hardened. For they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their heart was hardened. When they had crossed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret and anchored there. And when they had passed over, they came into the land of Gennesaret, and drew to the shore. And when they came out of the boat, immediately the people recognized him. And when they were come out of the ship, straightway they knew him. Ran through that whole surrounding region, and began to carry about on beds those who were sick to wherever they heard he was. And ran through that whole region round about, and began to carry about in beds those that were sick, where they heard he was. Wherever he entered, into villages, cities, or the country, they laid the sick in the marketplaces, and begged him that they might just touch the hem of his garment. And as many as touched him were made well. And whithersoever he entered, into villages, or cities, or country, they laid the sick in the streets, and besought him that they might touch if it were but the border of his garment, and as many as touched him were made whole. Proverbs 13. A wise son heeds his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. A man shall eat well by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the unfaithful feeds on violence. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. He who guards his mouth preserves his life, but he who opens wide his lips shall have destruction. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of a lazy man desires, and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. The soul of the sluggard desireth, and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. A righteous man hates lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and comes to shame. A righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome, and cometh to shame. Righteousness guards him whose way is blameless, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. There is one who makes himself rich, yet has nothing, and one who makes himself poor, yet has great riches. There is that mocketh himself rich, yet hath nothing, there is that mocketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. The ransom of a man's life is his riches, but the poor does not hear rebuke. The ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the poor heareth not rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked will be put out. The light of the righteous rejoiceth, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. By pride comes nothing but strife, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished, but he who gathers by labor will increase. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. He who despises the word will be destroyed, but he who fears the commandment will be rewarded. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Good understanding gains favor, but the way of the unfaithful is hard. Good understanding giveth favor, but the way of transgressors is hard. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool lays open his folly. Every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful ambassador brings health. A wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. Poverty and shame will come to him who disdains correction, but he who regards a rebuke will be honored. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. A desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Evil pursues sinners, but to the righteous, good shall be repaid. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Much food is in the fallow ground of the poor, and for lack of justice there is waste. Much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. The righteous eats to the satisfying of his soul, but the stomach of the wicked shall be in want. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want.